It's April 16th, 1970. Lenin and Squidward went into Russia. Squidward joined his communist friend after a failed Bikini Bottom uprising in London for being a communist revolutionary in Russia. The two would get there at a time of political turmoil. The Russian world would be put straight on its head. In 1920, the most important event would happen to give Lenin grounding in the weak Russian system, the Great Twix Split. In full support of the left Twix, Stalin and Trotsky would follow Lenin and Squidward into the Bolsheviks. In a great rivalry against the Mensheviki, Squidward knew there was only one way to win. With Lenin being the lead singer, Stalin the main guitarist, Trotsky the drummer, and Squidward the clarinetist, the four of them would make the infamous Weatles. The first song they would make, back in the USSR, would hit third in global charts. Importantly, this would give them an 83% approval rating in the Soviet Union. As the song grew in popularity, Squidward's gambit paid off. In only 2 weeks, almost $2,000 of debt was paid off. Next, Lenin got to work on Revolution. This song would see the Bolsheviks go up to 94% approval, with 3% who don't care and 5% who are trying to flee. Squidward, capitalizing on the popularity, would rewrite warehouse logistics manuals to be more like Karl Marx's rewritten monopoly rules. This would draw a young British boy, Bobbert the Builder, to come to the Soviet Union. As Lenin wanted to make sure that the ideals of the Russian Revolution were not forgotten, with the help of Squidward, he would make Red Submarine, promising to go to the moon in a submarine that would rival the German U-boat and British surface fleet. This would bring the Bolsheviks up to 100% approval rating with only 2% dissenters. The Weatles would do their first concert during the 1922 Comic-Con. This would bring the band into the national spotlight, with copyright lasting much shorter back then, and by 1924 Lenin would suffer a stroke and die. These two would lead to the downfall of the Weatles. Stalin and Trotsky would both fight to be the lead singer, but Squidward knew the truth. The famous knockoff band The Beatles would release Yellow Submarine. Trying to ensure that the band stays together, Squidward backed Stalin. Stalin, fearing Trotsky would ruin his records, started to purge all backstage members of the band. This would lead to a huge amount of instability. With no one left to protect the remaining trademarks, bands everywhere would steal and some rewrite famous Weatles songs. Squidward would do his best to keep the band stable. But when World War II came around, the band's last song was 17 years ago. Stalin finally dissolved the band. Squidward would try to reel with the aftermath of the purges, but it was just too much. The Bolsheviks would have a complete rework. Many younger and ambitious people would take power. Squidward would see the possibility to slowly influence the party. Squidward would eventually find a young Nikita Khrushchev. Knowing the best thing to do is to wait Stalin out, Squidward thought when Stalin died, his many puppets would have the skill to make a new band. Little did he know, all he would end up with a puppet leader who denounced Squidward's once friend, Joseph Stalin.